This brings us to the final lecture of the series. If you want to follow this and you prefer a text version, there is one here on my GitHub. The code is slightly different, but the ideas are basically the same. There is some things I wanted to talk about this and give you my opinion on all this code generation. As we mentioned before, it is fairly complicated. We start with TypeScript using GraphQL Nexus, we then generate GraphQL schema, and then we go back to TypeScript. There's actually no real problem here because everything is generated deterministically. We're not going to have any problems in general, but it is a bit confusing and it does have a very steep learning curve. The reason we have to do this is because we have two competing type systems. We have TypeScript's type system and we have GraphQL, and the goal here is to have one source of truth. And in this case, we're using code first, so we decided to make TypeScript our source of truth. I'm told this stack does scale really well, but I'm still having some problems myself and trying to figure out the best way to use it. One of the problems I'm having is you have to keep on running these commands all the time, like the code gen command and the command to generate all the code from Nexus. It is possible to set up some watches using something like nodemon and have everything running in the background, and that does save you a little bit of time. But there is one other problem we've already seen, and I'm going to show you it again, and that's to do with how your IDE is going to cache things. So for example, let's say I go ahead and modify this query. I'm going to remove title and save this one off. I'm now going to head over here and run CodeGen, and it's going to regenerate my front-end queries. And you can see here we have no problem. However, this is going to break. Title is now going to be null because I've removed it from my query, but it doesn't actually realize it yet. What I need to do is head over here and open up my generated code again. Once I open this one up, we are going to get that error here. And that's because we were caching the original version of this file, and VS Code hasn't realized this one has been changed, so it wasn't able to update it. And this can get very annoying, especially in a large code base where it's really slow, and sometimes you're not confident if something is broken or your code generation is just not working properly. If I go ahead and undo this one, save it off, and run this command again, it is going to run this, regenerate this file, and everything is now okay. So I've gotten in the habit of just having my generated files opened up all of the time, and these are kind of going to be your source of truth. I'm sure in the future these things will improve, but at the moment there is some rough edges and it can be kind of annoying, but I do personally think it is worth it because I really value type safety. It catches lots of bugs that I wouldn't otherwise catch, so this is a limitation I'm happy to work around, knowing that work is being done to hopefully improve it in the future. Anyway, that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about, and we have made a very simple type-safe app. There's a whole bunch of other things you can do, like using fragments and having type safety on those as well. I might save those for another lecture if this is something people are interested in. Anyway, I am going to leave this one here again. It is a lot of information to understand and consume, so I would encourage you to work through this entire thing in your own time, especially using this text version. Go over everything and make sure you understand what all the tools do and how they all fit together.